Hello, sweet beans, and welcome to episode 25.
Quarter of 100.
25.
We
Five
are
and
polysaturated, and I am here with
Zan?
and
Grow.
I'm Jay.
I think I'm going to change my name.
You
Especially
can't.
for this episode.
You can't.
No.
I'm a rebel Dottie.
Oh my God. Did Large Marge send you?
She did.
Ugh.
It's
Ain't that right, TJ? Who's our trucker?
it's
Have you ever ran into Large Marge? Let us know, TJ. I'm kind of curious. He's always on the road, and he's a trainer. I figured if anybody's been like close to 500,000 miles, I think he's done.
I don't know. A
Anyway,
lot.
he's done a lot. I know he was on his way to 1,000,000 miles, but he's a trucker.
damn.
He listens to us all the time, and we appreciate
He's
it.
amazeballs.
He's amazeballs. Yeah, let us know if you ever ran into a Large Marge. I'm kind of curious.
Whoa.
Yeah. What are we talking about this episode?
So this episode, we are going to talk about rules schmoles.
Which is why you can't change your name.
Rules schmoles.
It's against the rules.
Excuse me, Crow. I'm a rebel. Without a clue.
With what?
Without a clue.
What are you rebelling against?
He is rebelling
Everything.
against
Society.
What do you have? I'm going to rebel against it.
Is it like against society?
Yes.
He's rebelling against
Is
the
it?
woman.
I am going to rage against the machine.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still stuck in a cage?
I'm
You're still just a rat in a cage?
that's Smashing Pumpkins, not rage.
Yeah, I know. But it all goes along with the same. Oh my God. It's the same, like, era of
Yeah,
music.
because that was awesome. That era of music was awesome.
Depends on who you ask.
Uh,
Or what
myself.
you're talking about.
For those of you listening that don't have a clue what they're talking about, neither do I. So
It's all
we're,
music,
we're all in this together.
except for us, because we
Which-
know what we're talking about.
Which is kind of funny because We're in This Together is a song by Nine Inch Nails,
Awesome.
which I've seen live several times. And I'd like to see
Yeah.
again. I'm just saying, Jay.
Well, why don't you go...
So for any of you who are doing polysaturated bingo, anytime Zan drops a concert, go ahead and check a box.
Yeah.
I feel slightly called out.
Yeah, well, you know.
So, rules. What kind
What?
of rules?
Wolves?
Wolves.
We're talking about wolves.
Wolves.
It's all of the wolves.
Rules and regulations.
And I'm sorry, I stand corrected from the last episode. Apparently, nth is a word. Thank
It
you
is.
to one of our amazing listeners. Oh,
Oh, actually, since
I'm not bitter at all.
it was TJ.
not bitter.
It was TJ that sent us all the information about
Yeah,
death.
every single thing you could think of about that, about the nth. Apparently, yeah, it's a word. So you know what? I'm just going to start making up whatever the hell I want to say, and I'm just going to say it all the time.
But you did anyway.
I mean, I do, but I'm just going to start making it a thing and expecting everyone to know that it's a word that already exists.
I thought it was a thing already.
It-
And the thing is about the words that you come up with, they make sense. So,
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Keep doing that because Shakespeare did it and that worked out well.
Actually, he did. He made up a lot of them.
He
Wasn't
made
it
up tons of rules.
the
Tons of rules, tons
and
of words.
names and names? He came up with a lot of names
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He made
And
up
he
names.
totally changed the writing and acting and all of that industry.
Rules. What about
And
rules?
I'll
Well, okay.
rate-
So in any new endeavor, it's nice to have certain things worked out ahead of time.
So like guidelines.
Guidelines, you can call them that. You can call them rules. You can call them all kinds of things that you might... Principles. Oh, I like that one. Principles. So
Principals or
Restrictions.
principal?
principles.
Principals.
Principles,
Not
yes.
principals.
Principles.
Well, no, that's how you know that it's the
Well, I know
person
that.
because they're a pal.
No, they're not. The principal is never a pal.
Yeah, and I
No.
don't know. I had boys paddled because of me, so they were my pal.
Ooh, did your
Whoa.
milkshake bring all the boys to the yard and did you paddle them?
Yes, I was very young and they were trying to do inappropriate shit to me, so they got paddled in the office, but I had to sit there and watch them do it. So that was really not very fun.
I don't know how
Wow.
to respond to that. That's, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay then.
That's a weird caveat to that.
During
rule.
nap time. Yeah.
Well,
that was-
actually, you know what? I had somebody paddle during nap time too. I paddled on somebody when it was in kindergarten during nap time. And they got paddled in front of the class, and I laid there and laughed because he was a dick.
Jeez.
He was a...
I
He-
was like
okay.
mortified that I had to sit in the office and watch this boy get paddled?
He was a dickbag
Well,
in kindergarten, and he grew up to be a dickbag.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the dude that got paddled did too, but it was still not I don't feel like it was appropriate that I had to sit in there and watch it.
Well, was that kind of like some kind of reverse punishment? Like, you better be serious about charging these boys with this thing? Because
the teacher caught them, so...
Why did you have to watch? That just seems incredibly inappropriate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I guess like in a court of law, you have to face your accuser.
Yeah, but then they don't have to watch you while you get your penalty, usually.
Well, they have the option.
That's odd.
For like, pulling the switch and shit. But anyway, so wait, we're completely got sidetracked.
We do that a lot. Have you been here before?
No.
I've
edited this kind of stuff out, so yeah,
right.
I know.
So what I was saying was, in any team-related activity, it's often, especially at the beginning, to have the comfort of certain things already discussed, certain things already talked about, certain things already worked out, and these culminate into rules. And you can call them anything, but essentially they come up as rules again. So what do we think about rules in a polycule?
They suck.
They suck. Okay, let's talk about this.
The end.
So you're not a fan of rules?
Well,
this silence could mean anything.
I'm waiting for the look from Jay, because if I say something about not following rules...
I'm not giving you a look.
No.
She's specifically not looking at you. Do we need to communicate about this?
No, because we both know what we're thinking.
I'm actually not.
What, really? About me following rules? Like how I always follow rules?
There is a particular...
Except for speeding.
There's a particular mindset that you see common in the poly community, as that a lot of poly people don't like to, surprise, be put in boxes.
Really? I've never heard that before.
Polyamorous people, by and large, have a tendency to eschew restrictions. Eschew restrictions.
Oh, so somebody's using their calendar, their word of the day calendar.
Whoa. The thing is with rules, I mean, how effective are they in a polycule environment, considering you're surrounded by people who probably didn't like rules in the first place, which might be one of the very things that attracted them to this life.
Right. However, but a lot of times we hear that polycules make rules.
Okay.
A lot of times, because we'll hear, rules based along the lines of, don't date this person.
Code.
We're calling it the meta code. And
which is going to be a future episode.
We're going to do a whole episode on the meta code. The meta code is the metamor. It's kind of like the bro code, the girl code of metamors. Things you should look out for. But you shouldn't date a friend's ex. We actually had a friend date our first poly ex. She dated her after we warned her so much.
Well, she warned us about the relationship in the beginning, saw the dissolve and the horrible train wreck that the relationship was,
right.
And then decided to date her after.
After we warned her, hey, somebody cray-cray. And she dated her anyway. And come to find out, wait for it.
Yeah?
She was crazy.
Oh, man, I was hoping for a happy ending.
No, it wasn't a happy ending.
I mean, we all hope for happy endings, but,
Because sometimes people's crazy works for each other.
Well, I get that. I totally do.
That's not the happy ending.
That was not a happy ending.
That is my proviso.
That's not what I was talking about.
Oh.
No, she was talking about other happy endings.
Yeah. That is my proviso on things like don't date someone's ex, is because everybody in the whole world is someone's ex.
Unless...
This is true. And the larger your polycule, the harder it is. And not only that, it's... Okay, so, I mean, that's cool to... I kind of disagree with that. Because if you're similar enough to have similar interests and find each other attractive, then you may find other people that... the people that you're attracted in a relationship with, or metamors with, or whatever, that they have similar interests and traits.
Mm-hmm.
And dislikes.
And dislikes and everything else. So it may be a comfortable jump.
Yeah.
Or a relationship that you could get into. Like maybe this person couldn't supply them with this thing or whatever, but maybe you can. So I have to kind of disagree with that. I think sometimes maybe it could work.
Yeah. One rule that we had when we first started, speaking of crazy, the rule that this was our first poly relationship, and we went at it, and we had a discussion before we had a discussion with that person, was that if one of us says it's not working out, the deal's off completely. Like, then we both break up with her.
That can be a hard one.
That was a difficult one, and
that
caused us some serious issues because Jay saw the crazy. She was like, okay, this chick, best friend forever, but the cray came out, and Jay was like, we need to stop this before it goes too far. And I was like, you know what? I really kind of like this because she wasn't acting completely crazy with me at the time.
That's the thing, is that with that rule comes a thing that is almost impossible, because nobody can judge your level of feeling but you. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to...
Microphone noise brought to you by Jack.
Jack has actually decided to grace us with his presence this episode, apparently. He is in my lap rubbing against my microphone, and that's what you hear.
The thing is, it makes a presumption that at some point you or one of your partners is going to be able to just shut off their feelings
right
at a particular point. That's not healthy.
No,
it's not.
It really wasn't.
It's not a healthy thing to do. So it's one of those things where if you commit to this, now you're stuck.
Yep.
The only real way to go about it is then to pull back the emotions so you never get to a point where you can't just turn away from it, which robs the potential addition to your polycule of a fair relationship.
Oh,
they're not getting all of you. They're getting the part of you that you're willing to risk until it doesn't work out with, I guess, your primary, because that's usually the person that's making the rules. If you have a hierarchical structure, your primary is saying, no, we're done, and you have to shut it off.
And that also brings up, and from experience, I mean, we never really were outright unicorn hunters. And I really do hate using that term, but it's a lot of poly people know what that is, so that's why I'm using the term. But if you have somebody that is with both of y'all, which I just heard there was a polycule on HGTVs, and I posted on our social medias about a polycule that had a unicorn. It was working out for him. But the thing is that when it doesn't work out, and it's like one person losing feelings for that person, that single person that's between both of them, it does complicate things. Shutting it off, it does become difficult.
But here's the thing, and I want to take a moment to address unicorn hunting. I think in our society, I don't know, in the poly world, the term unicorn hunting has become so grossly overused and abused. Yeah. Because here's the thing, all right? It's used to say we're finding somebody and we're fitting them into our family. Please explain to me how that's not the same as just dating.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because aren't you looking to fulfill your needs when you date? When you're looking for anybody, you're looking for people who are compatible with you. And if you are looking to date for somebody to fit into your family structure, aren't you doing that? Any single parent that has... it's themselves and a kid. They always, and always will, and always should, take their child's feelings into account.
Oh, absolutely.
So is that unicorn hunting? Because that person has to be compatible with their possibly extremely difficult teenager.
Oh, no. Teenagers aren't difficult.
Yeah. Or possibly overactive or even special needs toddler or whatever the circumstances are. And I'm not saying everybody is in a situation like that, but think about this. The people trying to date under these circumstances, are they not unicorn hunting, air quotes, also? Oh. Because they're trying to fit this person into this space and seeing if they fit. And that is the very definition and the reason why unicorn hunting is disparaged, is they're saying, oh, you've got to fit, you got to join our family. Well, that's the case, even if the family is just you. Right. You're still doing that.
Well, I mean, you honestly, if people find someone, say they're monogamous, and they find somebody, and they don't get along with their kids, they generally that's a no-go.
It should be.
That's what do they call those? Absolute no. It's a
hard no.
Hard no. That's it.
It's a hard no.
It's a hard no. So you're like, I'm sorry, I can't do that.